and you're just here because somebody drug you here or somebody said, hey, please come. Today, may today be the day. I'm going to set my Dr. Pepper down. May today be the day that you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. May today be that day. Because here's the deal. You can't hide the fruit, guys. You can't hide the fruit. Look, it don't matter what song is being sung. Every song is glorifying the Father. Doesn't matter what song is being sung. The songs are glorifying the Father, and if you are standing there stagnant with your arms crossed, you might need to check yourself. You might need to check your relationship. You might need to check where you're at with Christ. You know who Jesus is, but does He know who you are today? Does He know you? Doesn't matter if it's a style of music you like or this, that, or the other. Guys, it's not for you. It's for Jesus Christ. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the heart today. Man, Caitlin, some of the things that she spoke there in that prayer, God gave me this morning. And some of you are like, well, he's already off to a bad start. I don't like this. Well, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. I want to talk about the heart a little bit. And we're going to start out with kind of a biology lesson. Any of y'all good at biology? Not me. Okay. Not me. I'm not good. So when I heard some of this stuff this morning, when God was showing it to me, I was like, really? That is crazy. And we're talking about the heart today. And we're talking about the desires of the heart today. And it's going to get real today. Because a lot of us are letting the desires of our heart be dictated by the enemy. And so in turn, your life is not being blessed. Because the desires of your heart are based on what the enemy wants you to think your desires should be. So, check this out. The heart is the body's, and I'll look this up. This is National Geographic, okay? The heart is the body's engine room. It is responsible for pumping life-sustaining blood through 60,000 miles of vessels. Did y'all know that? Your body has 60,000 miles of vessels in it that your heart pumps to each and every second. Tell me there's not a God in here today. Tell me somebody that's not God that could come up with that. Zero. Thank you. All right, good. It says the organ works all the time. It beats over 100,000 times per day. Yeah, crazy. You can't even count that high, can you? I can't either, so it's okay. It says it beats 40 million times per year, and it clocks up to about 3 billion heartbeats over the average lifetime. Man, when you think about that, when I was sitting there this morning thinking about that, I'm like, man, life is really precious. Because that dude can stop going at any time and I'm done. It's over. God can say, stop beating, and I go to meet Him. God can say, my purpose is done here, and He can say, stop. He can hit the pause button on that joker, and it's over. That's how precious and fragile life is. You think about it. How would you like to pump 100,000 times per day? How long would you last? Not very long. You know what I'm saying? Man. It keeps the body freshly supplied with oxygen and nutrients while clearing away harmful matter. Oh, man. What? The thing that sustains life is the thing that points directly to what Jesus does for us. It pumps in fresh stuff. And it takes away the things that are going to harm us and hurt us if we listen to our convictions. Amen? Oh, man, how awesome is that? It's not over yet. It's not over. The fetal heart evolves through several different stages in the womb. First, it resembles a fish's heart, then a frog's heart, which has 2 chambers, then a snake's heart, which has 3 chambers, before finally adopting the 4-chambered structure of the human heart. Oh. God is so big, man. God is so much bigger. You think We think we mean something. God is so much bigger than we are. God is so much bigger than we are. It's time to kneel down at the cross and humble ourselves and surrender ourselves to what He wants us to do. Oh, man, that's so good. It says, the heart is actually about the size of its owner's clenched fist. The organ sits in the middle of the chest, behind the breastbone, and between the lungs, in a moistened chamber. Some people don't like that word, moistened. I just figured you didn't like that word. Dustin don't like it either. Okay. But that's what it says. It sits in a moistened chamber that is protected all around by the rib cage. It's protected. The thing that gives you life is protected. Do you think that that was coincidence? It's made up of a kind of muscle, a cardiac muscle, that works involuntarily. So we don't have to think about it. It just beats. It just happens. Kind of like the fruit that we produce, just happens. So we don't have to think about it. It says the heart speeds up or slows down automatically in response to nerve signals from the brain that tell it how much the body is being exerted. Normally, the heart contracts, relaxes between 70 and 80 times per minute, each heartbeat filling the four chambers inside with a fresh round of blood. Now, some of y'all that went to, got your biology degree, y'all know that, but I didn't know all that. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, that's amazing. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the heart. And I just wanted to open it up by saying how big God is and how amazing He is. That's one organ. That is one organ in your body, and that's how it works. That's how God designed it to work. We're going to be in Matthew 6. We're going to start in verse 19. Oh, man. So it says, don't store up treasures here on earth where moths can eat them and rust destroy them, and where thieves can break in and steal. It says, store your treasures in heaven where moths and rust cannot destroy, and thieves do not break in and steal. It says in verse 21, wherever your treasure is, there is the desires of your heart will be also. There the desires of your heart will be also. Ladies and gentlemen, today I have to ask you a simple question. Where is your treasure at? Where is your treasure at? Now, I'm going to take about 30 seconds. I'm going to set my clock for 30 seconds, if I can find it here. And I want us to take 30 seconds of total quiet time, and I want us to think about where our treasure is. Are we ready? Close your eyes. Let's think about where is our treasure today. All right, here we go. All right, stop. Good, very good. Now, your heart's already done its thing like, 30, 40 times now? In that 30 seconds. Ain't that amazing? Ain't that crazy? Where is your treasure at? Because wherever your treasure is, that is where your heart will be also. You see, we sat down in here and we closed our eyes, and I had you think. God was poking on you. He was thinking on you, and we're sitting in church, so the godly answer is, well, Christ is my treasure. Right? That's how a lot of us, like, Jesus, duh. Jesus is my treasure. That's where my treasure is. It doesn't look like it. A lot of our treasure is tied up in money. So that's where our heart is. Working all the time to get the money to be happy. Working all the time to make money so the spouse will be happy. Working all, and then we slap God's name on it. I'm working all the time so that I can make money so that I can tithe to the church. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to build a new church in here, you know? Yeah. Right, yeah. Money, objects, things. Because they satisfy us. They fulfill us. They make us feel good. We're able to sit back and say, look what's in my driveway. Look what house I'm sitting in. Look what chair I'm sitting in. Look how big my TV is. And we're satisfied for about 30 days until that payment comes out and we realize, man, that is expensive. And then we don't like it. Then it doesn't make us happy. Then it doesn't fulfill us. That's not the only thing that we find our treasure. And we find our treasure, some of this, that's going to hurt y'all. We find our treasure in gossip and knowing it all. Man, I know my mom's probably watching. I ain't talking about my mom. I'm talking about my aunt, one of my aunts. Because she probably watching, she's like, man, like, yeah. I'm not talking bad about her. But literally, you know, I grew up in a little bitty town, Wicks, Arkansas. You know, my aunt lived in Cove, Arkansas. Okay, that's my dad's sister. And we were rivals. We were rivals in sports. And so whenever, though, my mom or dad would call my aunt, she always knew all the tea about everybody. You know, tea is details, by the way. That's what the kids say now. So I was trying to relate to the hip culture, but it didn't really work out real well because y'all weren't feeling it. But anyway, she always knew all the details about everybody. You know what I'm saying? And some of us, that is what consumes us. That's where our heart's at. That's where y'all don't even, I know that half of y'all that have an iPhone today got y'all's notification this morning how many hours you've been on this bad boy this week. Yeah, some of y'all like, oh, shoot, he got me. Yeah, I did too, right? I did too. Yeah, I hear you over there. I hear you. We are so consumed with knowing everything about everybody. And then guess what? When they put a picture up that we don't like or they put a status up that we don't like, what we going to do? Did you see what she posted? Oh, my gosh. And we have a 30-minute conversation that doesn't amount to nothing. It doesn't matter. Why? Because it's not you. It's not involving you. But our whole heart and our whole treasure and our whole desire is to know it all about everybody and talk crap and gossip about it. You know what I'm saying? Man, I was thinking the other day, I'm like, man, how much time do I spend where I just gripe about other people? Other people don't even matter to me. Not my life, not my problems, right? And I worry about it. And I gossip about it. Oh, man, it ain't over. It ain't over. We put our treasure in our social life. We got to be the social butterfly. We got to always look fresh. We got to always look good. We got to always go out and impress. We got to buy the shoes that are too expensive for us and the jeans that are too expensive just so we can go out and we can look good and impress others. And we put our whole heart, we put our whole desire in that. Because they got to think we got money. They got to think I got money. I live in a trailer house. I ain't got money. Okay? Sorry. All right? But I'm being real with you today. If I care, and I'm going to be honest with you. Can I be honest? God had to move some stuff in me and Tara, didn't he? Let me tell y'all a quick little story. See, when Tara got pregnant with our second child, she said, Jordan, I've got to have a house. And I said, okay. You know, happy wife, happy life, you know. I was like, okay. So we go house hunting, you know, and I just got my first full-time coaching job, and I was like, you know what, I'm doing good, you know what I'm saying? Whew, I'm doing good. So we go and look at this house, and this is it. This is it. This is it. The whole time I'm like, man, I don't really know if this is it or not. This is it, Jordan. This is it. So instead of me standing up and being the leader of the house and saying, okay, I said, okay, babe, let's get it then. Huh? I don't know if I wanted that one. But really, and so when God was moving in us to sell the house, and then he was moving in us to move in this trailer and kind of start over, where Tara said, we can't raise 2 kids in here. We are raising 2 kids in a trailer. Praise God. Praise God. You know what I'm saying? A little less privacy, but we're like, get in y'all's room, shut the door. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's a great time. But God had to move some stuff in me and kind of humble me a little bit and kind of set me down a little bit and say, Jordan, look, bro, you ain't who you think you are. And today God is trying to say to some of us, you ain't who you think you are or who you're trying to show everybody else you are. Because you're so worried about impressing others that it's ruining your financials, it's ruining your relationships, it's ruining everything that's coming into contact with you. It ain't over. We put our treasure, I already talked about social media, so I'm done with that. I talked about what others think of you. Wow. We put our treasure in our future. We put our treasure in our future, don't we? You know what? I am saving up. I'm saving up for that house later on. And I'm guilty of that, right? We trying to save money for a house, nothing bad about that, right? But God says, He says, don't worry about tomorrow. Worry about today. Today has enough trouble of its own. So what we do is we put all this stock, we put all these things in the future, and we worry about the future like we worry about the war going on. Well, what's going to happen in the future? I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that Jesus is in control. You know what I'm saying? I know He is. Why am I tripping? I don't even know much about it. I'm not tripping about it because God is in control. We sit and we worry and we eat too much because we're worry eaters, and we chew all our fingernails off because we're always worried about the future. We're always worried about what's next. And guess what, guys? It doesn't matter. Jesus is in control. If Jesus is going to clothe the birds of the air, He is going to take care of you. Just don't make stupid decisions. You know what I'm saying? All right. This is where it gets bad. We put our treasures in our sin. We put our treasures in our sin. Why do you think we don't want to let go of certain things? Why do you think we don't want to let go of that sin? Why do you think that we don't want to let go of those things that are holding us captive, that always control us and always move us from here to there, that are sinful? It's because that's where our heart is. That's where our treasure is. This is how God made me. We all deal with sin. It's just, it looks different for every single person. And if this right here says it's a sin, says it's an abomination of God, then I would work on getting rid of it. Because where your treasure is where your heart is also. And so many times we sit right here and we say, you know what? I love my sin. That's where my treasure is. That's where my heart is. We sit right here each and every Sunday. And we get convicted of it each and every Sunday. And we turn around and we walk out and we never think about it until next Sunday. Why? Because we don't pray. We don't open our word. We're not really in a relationship with Christ. We're in a coincidental walk by with Christ. We let our sin determine what we do with our free time. We let our sin determine our financials. We let our sin determine everything. Why? Because that's where our heart is. Your treasure is where your heart is also. Some of us sitting here and we struggle with sin and we want to try to get rid of it, and we've prayed about it, and it's like it just won't go away. So I'm just gonna fall in it. I'm just gonna lay in it now. No. It takes action from you to give it to God. See, some of us are like, God, come get it. And we're like, I don't want to give it up yet. Why? Because it feels good. Makes my flesh feel good. It satisfies me. It fulfills me. For 30 seconds, it satisfies me. You want to get rid of that sin that so easily besets you? Put your heart in Jesus Christ. That's that you're going to get free from that. We also put our treasure in things of this world. We put our treasure in jobs, and we put our treasure in status. We put our treasure in climbing the corporate ladder. We put our treasure in all of the things. But we don't ever put it in Jesus. And we wonder why, when we lay down at night, we're so empty. We wonder why we're so empty when we lay down at night. We wonder why our heart isn't filled when we lay down at night. Because look, by world standards, everything that had to be done got done by me today. I should be fulfilled. I should be happy. But if you don't have Jesus Christ, you're never going to be fulfilled or happy. What fulfills you? What satisfies you? It's the answer. The answer to that is wherever your heart is what's going to fulfill you and satisfy you. Let's turn to Matthew 8 real quick. Let's talk about the power of Jesus a little bit. I love this. It is hot in here. Yeah? Yeah, it's hot. Yeah, it's unbelievably hot. Yeah, the AC is not on, Colton. I'm sorry. Oh. I'm all right. I'm good. I'm just burning calories. I'm already at, what is it? I'm already at 49 minutes exercised and 693 calories burned today. My watch said I'm off to a great start. Hey, just living the dream. Closing them rings, because that's what matters most, you know what I'm saying? Woo! All right, so, that was a joke. Let's go to 8:28 real quick. So it says, when Jesus arrived on the other side, so Jesus is going through kind of a time here where he's healing a lot of people. So he heals a lot of people, gets on the boat. His disciples and him go across the lake. Storm comes up. Jesus calms it. The disciples are like, who is this guy? Ain't that what we do? Jesus does a miracle in our lives. You know what I'm saying? He does a miracle. And then 2 seconds later, we're like, what have you done for me lately, Jesus? We're in such a what have you done for me lately culture that we can't even understand what Jesus has done for us. It's hard for us to sit down at night and pray and say, thank you for the blessings that you have given us, Father. Because we're in what such have you done for me lately? You know what I'm saying? It's like I drove to work and I got back safely. I worked all 8 hours, 12 hours, whatever it was, and I got back safely. God, what have you done for me today? Oh, y'all didn't like that. Oh, they didn't like that. You know, or you know what? That check comes in the mail at just the right time to pay that bill that you have no money for. And you're able to, well, what we do most of the time is, oh, I just got a $300 check. What can I go buy with it? Maybe you should pay the bill that's $300. No, anyway. God, what have you done for me lately? What? Anyway, let's go to the story here. So when Jesus arrived on the other side of the lake of the region of the Gadarenes, 2 men who were possessed by demons met him. They lived in a cemetery and they were so violent that no one could go through the area. Now remember that they were so violent, okay? Remember that part as we read this. They were so violent that no one could go through the area. They began screaming at him, "Why are you interfering with us, Son of God?" They knew exactly who Jesus was. Now, let's put ourselves for just a little bit in the guys that are watching the pigs and watching all this, all right? Can we do that? We're up on the hillside. We're watching our pigs because our pigs are important, okay? And here comes Jesus. And Jesus walks up on the shore, and these two demon-possessed guys, we know who these guys are. Why? Because they're so violent, ain't nobody going around these dudes, okay? And Jesus walks up to them, and they're like, who in the world would walk up to this? So Jesus walks up to them, and they said, "Why are you interfering with us, Son of God?" The demons knew who he was. Now imagine this. Jesus walking up, okay? And these dudes yelling at him. That's like a fight about to break out, okay? We're uncomfortable here, okay? Whenever I'm around somebody that's about to get in a fight, I'm uncomfortable, right? My heart starts beating real fast, so these dudes are like, "Oh my gosh, what is going on? What's going on?" He says, "Have you come to torture us before God's appointed time?" Oh man, I just love this right here. Right here, Jesus shows that the power that lives in him is greater than how violent the demons are. Y'all get that? Because guess what? They torture everybody else. But when Jesus comes on the scene, "God, why are you here to torture us? Why are you here to mess with us? We don't want to have nothing to do with you. Can you please leave us alone? We ain't done nothing. We minding our own business over here. Can you?" And Jesus said, No, I come to set these dudes free. Jesus is here to set you free today. Whether you want to admit it or not, he is here to set you free. And the power that lives within me and the power that lives within most of you is greater than the power that is in this world. Just like Caitlin was talking, ladies and gentlemen, I have no idea why we play defense so much when we have offense living right here in the heart. Right here, offense. Did Jesus go on defense? No, he went on offense, straight offense. He walked up, Jesus didn't say nothing. They were like, "Oh my gosh, God, why are you here? Are you here to mess with us?" Like they tripping. They're like, "Oh my gosh, Jesus ain't said nothing yet. Jesus ain't said nothing." Just his presence changed the atmosphere. Just his presence changed the atmosphere. Oh man, did y'all hear? Just his presence changed the atmosphere. God just gave me that one. That one felt good right there. Woo! He said his presence, oh man, it says, there happened to be a large herd of pigs in the distance. So the demons begged, "If you cast us out, send us into the herd of pigs." Jesus ain't said nothing yet. And they begging for their life. I'm going to tell you, that giant that is in your life right now, it's time to go on offense and make him beg for his life. Y'all feel me? Do y'all understand where we're going here today? It is time to stand in the offense in the presence of the Lord, because when you stand in the presence of the Lord, the atmosphere around you changes. Oh, man. And then Jesus, "All right, go." He probably said it like that too. These dudes yelling at him. He's like, "All right, go." You know what I'm saying? You know, "All right, see you, go." That is just so amazing to me. "All right, go." And I'm sure that it's a little bit, whatever. "All right, go." We think our problems are so big. I heard this a long time ago. Why don't we start telling our problems how big our God is, though? You know what I'm saying? Like, why don't we start telling our problems how big our God is? Not let our problems tell them how big they are. "All right, go. Go. Bye." So it says, Jesus commanded them go. All right. So the demons came out of the men, entered the pigs. The whole herd of pigs plunged down the steep hillside and off in the lake, and they drowned in the water. I'm like, dog, you asked for me to not kill you, and then you kill yourself. Anyway, we're not going to go into that. That's probably for another day. Said the herdsmen. So the herdsmen, we're the herdsmen. We saw all this. So they fled to town, telling everyone what happened to the demon-possessed men. Okay? And then the whole entire town came out to meet Jesus. All right? So these guys go into town. Everybody in this town knows these men. Okay? They know them because they can't even travel through the area that they are in because they are so violent. Then a man gets out of a boat, walks up to them, says 3 words to them, and they are healed. All right, go. 3 words, and they are healed. They are no longer who they were. They are now who Jesus said they are. They are now who Jesus said they are. Why? Because the atmosphere had changed. The circumstances that they were living in changed. When Jesus said, all right, go. Changed. Boom. Gone. Done. How many of your circumstances, would your giants, would you slay and change if you just let Jesus lead you into it? How many of your circumstances would change if you would just do what Jesus is asking you to do? Well, Jesus, that's a hard conversation. That's a hard conversation. I'm dealing with that. That's a hard conversation to have, Jesus. Yeah, well, what's it going to be, Jordan? What's it going to be, son? Are you going to let this continue? Are you going to let this hindrance continue? Or are you going to have that hard conversation? That when I'm involved, it ain't that hard. Why? Because I'm God. And I'm in the midst of it. Oh, man. So the entire town came out to meet Jesus, and then guess what happened? They saw the miracle that had took place, and they begged him to go away and leave them alone. They saw what Jesus just done. The men sitting at his feet, totally normal, in their right mind, and they come down and they beg Jesus, go. Go. Because this is what happened. When they added up the cost, they weren't ready to lose the monetary gain for their freedom. Okay, so let me put this in regular terms. The pigs were a great source of income for this village. Okay? So when he cast them into the pigs ran off the cliff and they drowned. They no good no more. They lost all that money. You see what I'm saying? So because there was a little bit of cost to what Jesus was doing, they didn't want anything to do with it. Why? Because it was costing them too much. Cost them too much. How many of us do we do that? No, Jesus, no. I won't let you in right now because if I take what you got right now, I'm going to leave $100,000 on the table. If I take what you got right now, I'm going to leave $100,000 on the table, Lord. No, I'm good right now. No, Jesus, no. You know what? I don't want to take what you got right now because I'm not ready to put down this addiction right now. I'm too young for that. I'm not ready to put down this alcohol, Father. No. You call me to a much bigger thing. I'm not ready to put that down. I'm not ready to put down those drugs that make me happy, that satisfy me. I'm not ready to put down that tobacco that satisfies me and makes me feel good. I'm not ready to put down that pornography yet. You know why? Because you know what? It feels good. You know, it satisfies me for about 10 seconds. And then I'm like, why the heck did I do that, right? God, I'm not ready to put the gossiping down. Why would I put that gossiping down? I'm the best there is. Everybody calls me because they know I know the tea. You know, my phone blowing up all the time. I love it. I get to text everybody. I mean something to them, God. I mean something to them. We're like, man, God, like, I'm not ready to put down the social media yet. I want people to still think I got money. I'm not ready to put down this sin yet, Father. No. God, no, not right now. You know, because, let's be honest, like, I'm not going to get the type of girl or the type of guy I want, you know, because these days nobody wants to wait till marriage. Nobody wants to wait till marriage now, God. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, bro, I'm going to hold off until I get that girl or guy I want, then we'll come to you. Then we'll come to you. Marrying on potential is a bad thing to do. Marrying on potential is a bad thing. If they ain't already living and walking in that potential, I don't know if they ever going to. You know, God, I mean, you know, everybody wants to, you know, I mean, I just ain't going to get her, man. I ain't going to get her. Well, maybe that's not the type of guy or girl that you need. All the time, bro. We get pressured into all kinds of stuff, man, because a girl or a guy. Man. Where's your heart at? Where's your treasure at? God will give you what you need. He's not going to he ain't going to mess that up. Has he messed up yet? No. And he ain't going to mess up. He ain't never going to mess up. You know, God, I don't really want to go down this way right now, you know. What are people going to think of me? Like, you know, I mean, let me ask around. Like, let me go ask my friends, like, how you think about this Jesus guy? And then I'll get back to you. Not right now, Father. Not right now. Even though today, right now, on March 6th, you are calling my name, let me go ask around and let me get some reviews on you. Who else, when they look to buy stuff, looks at all kinds of reviews? Thank you. A few people. Thank you. I appreciate that. Makes me not sound so weird now. But we always want to, no, God, not right now. I got a question. How many of you like discounts? How many of you like discounts? So last night, we're on our way home. Tara's like, babe, can we please stop by Hobby Lobby? I said, sure. I know, that was one thing. No. I should have said no. Tell you what. I'm just kidding. So we stop. She says, so she's opening a booth for her boutique at the new place in town. Y'all go support her. And she said, I've got to get letters so my booth can say worthy. Sounds great, babe. I pull her in there. She's gone about 10 minutes. She comes back with nothing. That's how I looked at her. Right? I said, where's the letters at? Babe, they weren't on discount this week. So they going to be on discount next week? I guess that's how Hobby Lobby works. Half the stuff on this week, next week the other half the stuff on. Who knew? Wow. I know. Wow. I'm like, is this a blessed store or what? You can just wait 1 week and get what you want on sale? We need to start shopping here more often. Remember the financial thing and smart decisions, okay? So, I know, crazy story. I know. But anyway, so next week she's getting her letters. So anyway. But there are no discounts when you go to follow Jesus. And you see, I think that's the thing that scares us the most, because following Jesus, letting Him in, will cost you something. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest with you. It's always at a discounted rate of what it would be if you don't follow Him and let Him in. Because you see, if you don't follow Him and let Him in, the cost of that is eternal damnation. An eternity in hell. An eternity where it's way hotter than what it is right now. And an eternity where you will get bugged and picked at the entirety, for eternity. Let's go to Luke 14. Luke 14:25 says, a large crowd was following Jesus. He turned around and said to them, if you want to be my disciple, you must hate everyone else by comparison. Okay? Your father, your mother, which it's not that you got to hate them, but you got to put Jesus number one in your life. Okay? Now let's get that straight. But that's what by comparison means. All right? Is you got to have Him numero uno. Okay? Your father, your mother, your wife, your children, your brothers, your sisters. That's also husbands and whatever else that is. Yes, even your own life. You must hate your own life compared to what Jesus needs to be in your life. He says, but don't begin. Oh, so I'm sorry. Let me go back up here. Otherwise, you cannot be my disciple. And if you do not carry your own cross and follow me, you cannot be my disciple. But don't begin until you count the cost. Don't start this whole thing until you count the cost. Check this out. It says, for who would begin construction of a building without first calculating the cost to see if there was enough money to finish it? Otherwise, you might complete only the foundation before running out of money. And then then everyone would laugh at you. Why would that happen? Because you're a hypocrite. We say that we're a Christ follower, but yet we're a hypocrite of it. We say we're a Christ follower, but guess where you can find me on Friday nights? You say you're a Christ follower, but every time I talk to you, you got something ugly to say about your wife. You say that you're a Christ follower, but yet every time I see you around, like you got something to gripe about. Or you got somebody to talk about. You got somebody to degrade. Every time I see you, you say you're a Christ follower, but you're not loving anyone the way you talk to people and treat people. You see, ladies and gentlemen, the physical is just, the actual, the mental side of things and how you treat and how you act is just as important as the physical. Because you're a stumbling block either way. We talked about this Wednesday night. You're a stumbling block either way. That so many times we focus on things so hard. We focus, you know what? I can't drink alcohol. I can't drink alcohol. I can't drink alcohol. I can't drink alcohol. But over here, every time I see you, you got something bad to say about your wife. You got something to gripe about. You got something to complain about. can't dip. I can't dip. Can't do tobacco. Can't do tobacco. Can't do tobacco. But every time I see you over here, you always gossiping. You always got all the tea. Is there a difference there? No. It's the same thing. Are you living a Christ-centered life? No. It goes on to say right here, it says, they would say there's a person who started a building that can't afford to finish it. Or what king would go to war against another king without first sitting down with his counselors to discuss whether his army of 10,000 could defeat the 20,000 soldiers marching against him. And if he can't, he will send a delegation to discuss terms of peace while the enemy is still far away. So you cannot become a disciple without giving up everything you own. Salt is good for seasoning, but if it loses its flavor, how do you make it salty again? Flavorless salt is good neither for the soil nor for the manure pile. See, I've been reading, and some of y'all, I look up after manure pile, and y'all, oh, what'd he say? Wait, he was 3 sentences in, babe. What did he say? Fill them in. Okay? It is thrown away. Anyone with ears should listen and understand. Ladies and gentlemen, the cost of following Christ is at a discounted rate of what it can be if you don't follow Him. You know why? Because Christ isn't going to take away anything from you that's going to hurt you. The only things He's going to take away from you are things that are going to make you prosper. Things that are going to make you better. Things that are going to make you answer the call that He has for your life. The purpose and will that He has for your life. That is the only thing that He's going to take away from you to build you up. He's never going to tear you down or hurt you. Sometimes it feels like that, right? When He crushes you on that potter's wheel and He's like, not this, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're like, crap, God, like, why are you doing this to me? But it's to better you. I'm a lot better man today than I was 10 years ago. Ask Tara. She knew me. We was married, almost married 10 years ago. In a month, about a month, we will be married 10 years. See, I know those things. I'm going to ask Caitlin to come up, or whoever's doing the music. But I'm a lot better man today than I was 10 years ago. Heck, I'm a lot better man than I was 5 years ago. I'm a lot better man today than I was 3 years ago, 2 years ago. I'm a lot better man now. Why? Because I have allowed God to crush me. I have allowed God to do whatever He wants to do in my life. My mouth is not near as dirty. My mind is not near as dirty. My heart is not near as dirty. The sin that tries to weigh me down is not as heavy. You know why? Because of Christ. Because of Christ. Ladies and gentlemen, where is your treasure? Where is your treasure? Because in Matthew 6 it says, wherever your treasure is, that is where your heart's desire is also. Why don't you come today? Why don't you give your life to Jesus today? Why don't you give that pain to Jesus today? That hurt to Jesus, those circumstances. Why don't you give that giant over to Jesus and watch him slay it? Why don't you? March 6, 2022 is the day. It's the day. God, I come to you today, Father, and I thank you and I praise you. Father, for you are good. Father, I pray that the words that were spoken today, Father, that were your words, Father, I pray that everyone just absorb them, Father. God, and let it run right to that heart, Father. God, it can run right to that heart, Father, and change the lives of your people today. There's so many people, Father, that sit in here that have no idea who you are, have no idea what a relationship with you looks like, Father. Father, I can tell when they stare aimlessly, Father, I can tell. Father, may your conviction, Father, touch them today and pull them to your throne room. In your Son's name I pray. Amen. Please stand.